Give you a little debrief of what happened to me last Wednesday as I was approaching the end of the Rhone Valley, leading up to the Furka Pass, in the hope that if you guys head up that way, you don't make the same mistake. And it definitely was a mistake. I can see that in hindsight now very, very clearly. So yeah, I took off from Crans, Montana, and was bimbling along here. It was all very good. Got past Brig and got pretty high here, up to sort of 3,500 meters. I thought, oh, yeah, this is all good. Up till now, the wind had been sort of west 10 to 15k, and then as the valley heads more northeast, the wind actually was more followed it, and it was more southwest, similar sort of strength. So I cruised over Fish, is nice and high here, like 3.3, a little bit further, and again got up to 3.3 here. And then this was the view I saw. Pretty nice view. And a couple of things to note here, that the Furka Pass is here, clearly no way through there. It's cloudy the other side. We've got a bit of cloud spilling over from the Grimsel Valley. It's known as the Grimsel Snake. And I didn't really appreciate the significance of that, because there had been no northerly wind higher up, so I didn't really know what was sort of going on there. And for me, this seemed like the obvious route up through the Newfoundland Pass into the Italian sort of sector, the Airolo Valley, where Chris and I had flown 2 years previously in a really nice flight. So I just thought, just head for the same place as I did last year, get a booming climb, and then just carry on. And so I had a 5-minute glide across the valley, during which time I should have looked at this before the flight, and I would have seen that actually this is quite a common thing here. So you've got the valley winds going up the valley wind coming up here, up the Grimsel Pass, and then it sort of spills over and heads south in a southwest direction. And this is the way I wanted to go in here, so very little valley wind coming this way. That would have been a warning sign. I should have also gone onto winds.mobi and see what the winds were doing here, but I didn't, and that was a costly mistake. Well, not costly actually. So let's just have a. So yeah, I immediately had in my mind this flight here, where I'll just play this quickly. Yeah, headed across from the high point here, but I was higher on this flight 2 years ago. Got to climb super high, up to 3.5, 3.6, and then just cruise along here. So this time round, this is last Wednesday's flight. Just do the same thing. I'll just slow it down a bit. A little bit lower there, a couple of 100 meters. And instead of finding any lift, I found sink. And like at that point there, it's 6 meters per second down. And in hindsight, it's completely obvious what is going on. The wind is clearly sort of the northeast. The wind from the northeast is just blowing along here and washing down here. It's so obvious now, but because I just assumed that the same thing would happen as 2 years ago, as my brain wasn't computing basically. And I might as well just play this to its final. I'll just slow it down a bit. I tried to get back round onto these front faces again, and it wasn't going to happen. So I turned around, ran back this way, and at this point I wasn't going very fast, but suddenly much lower to the ground, I found myself going downwind pretty fast and just put my legs out and just tried to steer through, miss the rocks, which I largely did, but not quite. So Moral of the story, just don't assume that conditions are going to be the same next time round if you fly the same flight, and do your homework first. Those two little things, made it was a end up a big mistake really. If I had soared up here, I could have got up here and I could have carried on, and I could have done another 75k. Probably the day had still had plenty of life left in it. I would have been I was aiming for St. Moritz, but as it happened, this is where the Gumball ended for me. Fortunately, the harness is all sorted now, and my leg is well on its way to mending. So an inexpensive mistake, as Gavin McLeod would say. Anyway, I hope that's useful to you guys, and safe flights.